Welcome to my new YouTube video. It is a pleasure, and I really appreciate you guys clicking the video. And I want to tell you guys to please don't forget to subscribe to my channel. It's mean a lot to me, and it means a lot to me as I'm talking to you currently. And I want to say that people who have been watching my video from the beginning of my video, I want to appreciate you guys. It's a pleasure, and I want to say you guys to keep it up. We should all come together and learn what has happened to us in the past, to learn and to improve in the life of comfort, to learn from activities that we have seen in our life today, so that we can know how we could adjust and know the right path we should take in some time in our life. Because the way we see it today, that is not how it is being done. The surface we are seeing today, that is not how it is being done. The only way it is being done, we have to know the root of it first. We have to know how people who are engaged in things like that. That is how we are going to know how it is being done. You understand? So today I want to talk about the hospital aspect, and today I'm going to talk about three aspects in the hospital. I'm going to talk about the hospital itself, the first hospital in Nigeria. I'm going to talk about it. We're all going to discuss about it, and we're all going to share highlights. We're going to share ideas, and we're going to talk about the first man to become a medical doctor in Nigeria today. Likewise, the first woman to become a medical doctor. I'm going to talk to you guys about the background, about how they became that area, about how they come to become that type of person they are today, so that we all could know how we could learn from people like this. We all could know how we could improve in people like this. So let us begin with the hospital. Let us talk about what hospital is. Why did hospital come into places in Nigeria? Before hospital, we have something that we call in Yoruba land. Let me use this in the Yoruba land. We call it Ogunbile. So when they say that these are herbal, till today they are still selling herbal. But these are herbal. Herbal are medicines, they are leaves, they are crops that could be joined together to create a medicine that could heal a person, no matter what that person is passing through. Maybe there's a leg pain, there's something that will mix together, then they'll use to treat the leg. So those are what we were using before. But there was a issue with that type of medication. And the issue was that there was not a measurement for these things. By the time they give you this thing, they don't give you enough measurement. They just tell you to use it in the way you are satisfied with it. So I don't know what that cost during that time. But what I know during that time is that our people live very long. There are less sickness, there are less disease, and it is very easy for someone to conquer very serious disease during that time. It was very easy because they have those serious equipment, they have those serious tools they could use to get this thing, to get the little things that they need on board to make things work for themselves. So let us talk about how hospital was implemented. Hospital was implemented because there are some powerful disease, there are some things that are still going to come up in the future. There are still some disease, there are still some things that are still going to come up in the future. And this thing I am talking about, let's talk about this thing. This disease I'm talking about are disease that could be discovered in the hospital, that could be discovered in the laboratory. Because if it is not discovered early, it will not be easy to tackle it early. That is why there's a situation whereby millions died on the disease. I know how many people who have died of malaria. Those malaria, that's small thing. In Africa, malaria, if you have malaria, you'll say you have malaria. You'll say, you have malaria. You have typhoid. That is how we see that sickness in Nigeria. But this thing has killed millions of people before there was a little solution to solve that type of sickness. I didn't think there was an hospital then. An hospital will have a lab whereby they will have discovered that there's a disease like this coming. So there will have been a way to tackle the issue before it's gone and go on rapidly. So that is the essence, one of the essence of hospital, and it gives you the right measurements and the right tools for you to be able to bring things up. So those are the things that I see about hospital and the advantage of hospital we are living in today. So let us talk about the first hospital in Nigeria. Let's talk about the first hospital, the year it was established. Who established that hospital in Nigeria? Who was the person who established it? Which community gathered their hands together to create this hospital in this country, Nigeria? So let us talk about the name of the hospital. The first hospital name is Sacred Heart Hospital. Sacred Heart Hospital at Abeokuta. It was they built it then what at Abeokuta. That was where they built that hospital then. The name of the hospital was Sacred Heart Hospital. So it was built in Abeokuta during that time. It was built what year? It was built in the year 1895. So the hospital, the Sacred Heart Hospital, was built in the year 1895. So it was those century that who founded this hospital, who founded it, who tried their best to build this church. It was the Catholic Church. So let's talk a little bit about the Catholic Church. The Catholic Church is a church that is the largest and is the oldest church institution in history. That is the church that begins with Christianity. That was the church Jesus laid his hand on one of his people to build. That is the Catholic Church. But maybe due to some issues, that's why we are hearing a lot of churches which were still worshiping the same Christ, our Lord. So the location, as I said, is in Abeokuta. So what is the reason? What is the reason? Let's talk about the reason. The reason why it was being implemented. Now I want to talk about it. What was the reason it was implemented? It was through the Reverend Father. It was the Reverend Father then, Coquard, as a result of the leprosy epidemic. Can you see now? That affected Egbaland between 1857 and 1859. Can you see it was an leprosy epidemic that caused them to build that hospital? Because people were dying from leprosy during that time. People were sick and they were dying from it. Can you see the reason why hospital is something that is very important? People will say the haba. But haba cannot discover what will happen. Haba cannot say that these are the type of disease that we could discover that could happen tomorrow. And it could kill, because before Abo can see its solution, it would have killed thousands of people. So it was because of this epidemic that made in Egbaland that made them build that hospital, and it was the Reverend Father Coquard that built the hospital that time. So let's talk about the relocation. It was relocated after that time it was in Abeokuta before, but it was later on reallocated in another location. So it was reallocated in Lantoro in 1971 by Archbishop Aggey. So it was a bishop that reallocated that hospital. There will be some reason why they did that, because there will be some reason why they took that drastic action, which we don't know. They didn't write it there. But the reallocation was on Lantoro in 1971 by a bishop, Aggey, that tried his best to say, let us rebuild this hospital in another location. So let's talk about the bed. The bed is about 300 people. So you understand, the bed is about 300 people. That's it. So it also serves the western part of Nigeria and the Republic of Benin. So it serves the western part of southwestern parts of Nigeria. That's the western part of Nigeria. That is the Igbos and the Yorubas. It really served them. It really treated them. You understand? So this thing has improved. It helped a lot of people. This hospital really saved a lot of people's lives. Then it saved lives. It makes people who should live long during that time. So they were doing some training in that hospital during that time too. They were trying to train the people, with the black people, with the Nigerians. They were trying to train us so that we can also be the type of people that will take over this hospital when they are gone. So they were training nursing, and they were training the postgraduate doctors. So the postgraduate are the ones that have graduated. So the postgraduate doctors, they were also training them, so that they can become the best version, so that they can take over that hospital and make it one of the best in the country. So that is that on the first hospital in Nigeria. So I think you guys have gotten some ideas about the first hospital in Nigeria. You guys have gotten some insight. So by the time there's any issue, or there's any idea or anything that you guys are having issue with, you guys should know that the first hospital was the Sacred Heart Hospital. So that is that on the first hospital. So let us talk about the first male doctor in Nigeria. Let's talk about the first male doctor in Nigeria. I'm sorry, so my apology. So first male doctor in Nigeria. So let us talk about his name, when he was born, when he died, his location, things like that. So let us know more about this man. Let us know what it's all about, because these are the things that are very necessary in the country we find ourselves today. These are the areas where we need to be in a position where we will have some respect for some certain type of people, because these people are the ones who brought this country outside, who make this country to be a whole. Without these people, this country is going to be one of the useless country we found today. So now let us go to the male doctor. The male doctor, what is his name? His name is William Broughton Davies. William Broughton Davies. Now, when was Davies born? Davies was born in 1831. He died in 1906. They didn't bring the particular date a month, but he was born in 1831. He died in 1906. He really lived long. His perfect soul rest in peace. And let us talk more about William. Let us talk more about Davies. Let us know more about this man. Let us know more about what he has achieved in this country as a whole, what he has brought out in this country as a whole, what he has tried his best to build in this country as a whole. So, his location. His location was he was from Sierra Leone. Now, why was he from Sierra Leone? Because I learned something about this guy. He was from Sierra Leone. So he was from Sierra Leone, and he was free from slavery. He was part of the person that was free from slavery. During that time, the black were, as I said earlier, we were in a position whereby the whites are maltreating us. But that is that on that. The point is that those people are they were obviously free from those slavery, and they were able to do more with themselves. So let us talk more about the necessity of this guy. What it was his occupation? It was a medical doctor. We all know that he's a medical doctor, and he served the British army. He served the British Colonial Army from 1860 to 1881. He served the British colonial, because those British army were the one that were in charge of Nigeria during that time. They were the one that were in charge of the economy. They were in charge. They were the one in charge of every single thing in the country as at that time. So that was why he was serving the British Colonial Army from 1860 to 1881. It was from Sierra Leone, but due to some this thing, I think it was a scholarship that he went to abroad. Then he studied. From there he studied. Then they have to bring him back. Then I think that was how his story went through. So he studied medicine in 1859. So it was 1859 he studied medicine. So that was when he started learning more about medicine, when he was free from that slavery of a thing. So now let's talk about his parents. His parents were rescued from slavery. His parents were Yorubas, and they were rescued from slavery too. So his parents were also rescued, Yoruba rescued from slavery. So his parents were Yoruba, and they were also rescued from the slavery that was happening then. We guys have a lot of record we need to know, and we need to use that to stay humble in the life of comfort, so that by the time we are seeing some challenges, by the time we are seeing some setback, by the time we are seeing some pain in our life of comfort, we will know where the reason might come from, so that we won't be blaming everything on one person, or won't be blaming or judging some certain type of people who shouldn't be blamed. Now, let's talk about the parent. The parents took him to CMS Grammar School to train and eventually receive orders as a priest. Now, that was the parent. The parents wanted him to become a priest. The parents, they don't want him to become a doctor. Their mind was that this guy should come out of school and become a priest, to become someone that is going to deliver hundreds and millions of people. That was the goal of the parents. So during that time, during that time he wanted to go as a priest. He received a scholarship to study medicine in England. So during that time, when he received the scholarship to study medicine in England, he got no choice. So he was in a position whereby he had to go to England to study medicine. So what is the name of William's wife? The name of his wife is Mary Smith. That was the name of the wife, Mary Smith. So let's go to the next person. And this person is the female. The first female who became a medical doctor in Nigeria. This girl's story was very inspiring. It was very confusing, but she was a physician. Because when I read about it, she was a physician, but she studied in I think Dublin. We're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about it. So by the time I go through it, we all are going to learn from this type of person, who this type of person is, and how this person have used his life to improve other people in the life, the comfort. So let's talk about the first female name. What is her name? Her name is Chief. She's a chief then. Chief Elizabeth Abimbola Awoliyi. This is clear that this is a Yoruba person too. So that guy, his parents were Yorubas. This one too, he she was also a Yoruba. So we guys have to understand something. She was also a Yoruba. So Chief Elizabeth Abimbola Awoliyi. So that is the name of the first female doctor in Nigeria. So she was born in Lagos, Nigeria. This one is a clean Nigeria person. She doesn't have any background in the I'm sorry for cleaning my face, is the sweat. So she has less background in in outside country. She's born here, she's trained here, and she have succeed here. So she was born in Lagos, Nigeria in 1910. She was born in 1910, but she didn't live long. Abimbola didn't live long. She did not live long. She died very early. She died at the age of 61 on the 14th of September 1971. She died at the age of 61. Mia Professor, rest in peace. It was very painful. So she was a physician. So that's the occupation I want to talk about. She's a physician. Abimbola is a physician. And in 1938, let's talk about her now. Let's talk about Awoliyi. 1938, Elizabeth Awoliyi became the second West African woman to qualify as an orthodox medicine trained physician. She became the second in the West Africa to become the what? Second in the West Africa. So you know how strong Nigeria has been from the history. So now this is it. It become the second West African woman to qualify as an orthodox medicine trained physician. So she was the second during that time to qualify as a person who has been trained as a who was a medicine trained physician. So what is the name of her family? At least by like me now, my family name is Adegoke. My family name is Adegoke. So she had a family name which was Aduga. Aduga was the name of the family name. And the school, let's talk about the school she went to. She went to a Catholic school. She went to St. Mary Catholic School. Now we are seeing the background. She went to St. Mary Catholic School, Queen's College in Lagos. So that was where she went to. She went to the St. Mary Catholic School. So during that Catholic time, you guys all now know that Catholic were the first person who tried their best to build the first hospital. So it was very easy for her to engage, for her to achieve. Then she was the first female in Nigeria. Now you're getting it. So now she went to St. Mary Catholic School in Queen's College in Lagos. So at graduation, she graduated in Dublin with first class honor. First class was something very, very, very powerful then. But currently now we don't know what is going on. May God continue to help us in this country. So including a medal in medicine. She collects awards in medicine. So let us talk about the member. What member did she join? What member was she engaged in? What member was she trying her best to improve? She was a member of the Royal College of Physicians in United Kingdom. She was a member of the Royal College of Physicians. She was also the member of the Royal College of Obstetricians and Gynecology. So she was also the member of those people. So let's talk about more about Abimbola. I think her name is Elizabeth. Let's talk more about Elizabeth. Let's talk about more about her. Let's see more about her. So in 1962, she was appointed as a senior specialist gynecologist and obstetrician by the Federal Ministry of Health. So that was when she was appointed as a senior specialist. Now, can you see how the journey was going? She was appointed as the senior specialist for this job. So that was when she was appointed for it. So since she was appointed for the job, then there were more things that were needed to be seen. Now, since she was appointed for the ministry by the Minister of Health in 1962, you know that Nigeria gained independence when 1960. Now she was called by the Federal Minister of Health. So awards. What was the award she had? She had a member of the most excellent order of the British Empire. She was very connected with the British people, and she was the Iya Abiye of Lagos. She was also the Iya Abiye of Lagos. She was also the Iyalaje of Oyo Empire. Iyalaje of Empire and Nigerian National Honor. She was also her son also dedicated a book to her titled Return of Life. And the name of the child is Tunji Awoliyi. So he wrote a book about her, Return of Life. You guys could try your best to get the book to know more about this woman, to know how she is, to know how glorious she was. Because I'm very sure she was a good person and she really left us very early. But the point is that he wrote a book, Return of Life, and the name of the child was Tunji Awoliyi. You guys can try your best to get the book. I don't know if the book is available on Amazon. I don't know, but what's the name of her husband? The name of her husband is S.O. Awoliyi. I don't know the name of that S.O. They didn't write it completely there, and he died in 1965. So how many children do they have? They had 3 children. Awoliyi have 3 children. So let's talk about her leadership. The leadership she has brought up, what she has done to achieve, the leadership, how she have become who she is today. So let's talk about that. So now, she was the first president of the Holy Cross Parish Women Council at the Holy Cross Cathedral in Lagos. So I think that one is more connected to the Catholic area. So now, she's also the Motherless Babies Home Governing Council. She was also the Motherless Babies Home Governing Council. She was also the Business and Professional Women Association. She was the president of the Business and Professional Women Association. She was also the president of Child Care Voluntary Association. She was also the president of that. She was also the Lagos Colony Red Cross. She was also there. And she was also the National Council of the Women's Society. As in brackets, also became the first president of the Lagos branch of the National Council of Women Societies. Now we've known more about this woman. Now we've known more about the first church in what? In Nigeria. We know where it was located. We know where it is. Now we know that the first church is Sacred Heart of Sacred Heart Hospital, and we know that the first male is William. We know the second female is Elizabeth. So now, this is how we have to learn, and this is what we have done to become ourselves in the life of comfort. So I want to appreciate you guys. Thank you very much for watching this video. I didn't put a question this time. I don't know why, but it is what it is. We have to accept it and we have to move on. And I want to say thank you for watching this video. It is a pleasure, and have a good health. Stay safe, and lastly, stay fine.